So another film essay. Cinema, yeah, more so than I think almost any other, if you want to call it an art form or something very contextual about it. When you see a film, how you see a film, I don't know. It seems to me more so than anything else, when a film comes out, with having to do a lot with its success, the timing, so many things about before it. The hype machine is rolling, before people are talking about it, before all these, opinions are formed. You get a more pure sense, and there was kind of a disconnect. I was bombarded with these DVDs, screener DVDs. And I became very much a snob. It's like, if they don't send me a DVD, I'm not going to vote for them. It's stupid. And at a certain point, I realized when I started talking to other people, obviously I would see. Well, I knew I'd made a mistake. Let's say with There Will Be Blood. You should not be watching There Will Be Blood on a DVD. I should have seen that at a screening, and I didn't. I realized, dude, you got to get out and see these, on the big screen when they're offering them. And so I did. But I also noticed the difference in terms of perception. When I was seeing these films early and seeing them theatrically, I started to just insist on just going to screenings. And then I would tell a friend about it who was not in the guild, who would, have to wait a month or two to see the film. Usually see it, a burned version of it, on his fucking computer, and then wonder why. Oh, I didn't think it was that good. Well, how are you watching it? I was watching it on a fucking computer. Oh, no shit. So I mean, that makes a huge difference. It does. As an example, when I saw Goodfellas, I was kind of living it. I was in a daze after the film. I went and hung out with some wise guys after hours, telling them about the film and blah blah blah, whatever. They were part of the Casino story. The first time I saw Platoon, one of those wise guys had been a Vietnam vet. He was talking about, being in country for months and seeing nothing, and then one night, he just bolted up, and sure enough, mortar strike, and the VC attacked their fire base, and well, what's the scene in Platoon, right? Charlie Sheen out on patrol, boom, just bolts up. It just those things, you really remember with a film. And I'm going to talk about that with one of my top 10 films of all time. This is it's a masterpiece. I think it's the number one film of the millennium, right? I saw it literally 15 years ago to the date. I don't know if I saw it on September 15th, but it was released in New York and LA, September 15th, 2010. And Carey Mulligan, Keira Knightley, and Andrew Garfield. Writer, Alex Garland. Okay. The director, Mark Romanek. His second film. This is as much evidence that this business has been on, hospice for quite some time. I mean, Mark Romanek only made two films, one 15 years ago. His first film was 1 Hour Photo, which was a fantastic film with Robin Williams. Great performance by Williams. And the film I'm talking about is Never Let Me Go. I saw it on a September day 15 years ago, not expecting much. This is back when there was a business. I was, in the WGAw, and I was looking at the LA Times, reading a paper. I saw that this film was being offered now, with the little, AMPUS, WGA, DGA members could see, award season. Fairly early. Now they wait till almost the end of the year, but back then it kind of started in September. It's September, it's during the week. Maybe a Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm reading the LA Times, and sure enough, they're starting to offer, films for award season, and Never Let Me Go was one of the films, had a tremendous write-up from, Toronto, TIFF screening, and wasn't expecting much, I knew there was a lot of talent involved, but, whatever, and I was just blown away. I mean, I think the film is, literally a flat-out masterpiece. I'll get into why and everything about it, but Yeah, I just remember leaving the theater thinking, holy shit, man, this was powerful, and it just kind of seeing a film very early with before the buzz and all that stuff, the hype machine rolls and out of the blue, just cold, no, it wasn't, hyped up for months and months and months, it literally had just screened a week or two prior in Toronto, and it was just an amazing experience.